Hello everyone. In the last few lessons, we have discussed functionalities in the font, alignment, and number group of the Home tab. Using these functionalities, you can format your Excel spreadsheets to make them look extremely neat and professional. This is very important. Unformatted Excel spreadsheets are very difficult to understand. And if you're sharing your Excel spreadsheet with others, such as your manager or your client, it is super important to make sure that your spreadsheet is formatted to perfection. In this lesson, we will discuss some spreadsheet formatting best practices. You should follow these practices religiously when formatting your Excel workbooks. Here, I have some data in columns B to column P. This data has information about 90 odd schools. It contains their enrollment, fees, and capacity information. As you can see, this table has not been formatted and it looks quite shabby and it is hard to read. If you format this table properly in accordance with the best practices, this is what this table can look like. And I hope that you can appreciate the difference that proper formatting can make to an Excel table. So now let's go ahead and format this table to make it look just like this table. First, let's format the column headers. Column headers should be bold. So I select the top row and I can do that using the Ctrl Shift and right arrow keys. And now I press Alt H1 for bold. Now that we have made the column headers bold, you would notice that some of the column headers are not visible. This is because the column isn't wide enough to fit the whole text. Therefore, we need to wrap text. So I press Alt HW to wrap text in each of these cells. Next, column headers should be center aligned. So I press Alt H AC for center alignment. And likewise, I press Alt H AM for middle alignment. The next step is to add some color to these cells. In this case, we want to color different column headers with a different color depending on the type of column header. I select the first 4 column headers, press Alt HH and choose a color of my choice. And I can repeat the process with the rest of the column headers. Now, it is a best practice to color the column headers, but if you color the whole table, it will make the Excel look very cluttered. Therefore, you should use cell coloring sparingly. Next, let's create some borders for these column headers. So once again, select all the column headers and press Alt HB for borders and M for more borders. In this pop-up menu, you can use this drop-down to change the color of the borders to gray and then use these buttons here to assign outside borders and vertical inside borders. Click OK and you have your borders ready. So that's how you can format column headers. Column headers should be bold, center aligned, word wrapped, you should use a cell color, and you should use cell borders. Next, let's format all the data rows. So first, let's create borders in the same way we had created borders for the column headers. Select the entire range and press Alt HB and M for more borders. In this pop-up menu, once again, I will choose outside borders and vertical inside borders. When you click OK, you can see that the whole table now has borders. Notice that we did not use horizontal inside borders. If we had done that, we would have too many borders and the whole spreadsheet would look very cluttered. So the best practice is to use minimal amount of borders and use gray borders as far as possible. Now let's modify the horizontal alignment of these data rows. Cells that contain numbers such as these cells and these cells should be right aligned, and cells that contain text such as these cells and these cells and these cells should be left aligned. Other cells such as the serial number can be center aligned. So I select this range and press Alt HAC for center aligned. Now for all the cells that contain numbers, we need to choose the appropriate number formatting. For these 2 columns, we should use the number format. That is because these contain whole numbers. So I select the range and press Ctrl 1, and in this pop-up I can go to the number tab. From here I can select the number option, choose 0 decimal places and use thousand separators. Whenever showing whole numbers, you should always use thousand separators and use decimal places only if you have to. Click OK and you're done. For enrollment growth, it's a percentage. So once again, we will select the range, press Ctrl 1 for this pop-up and choose the percentage option with 0 decimal places. Once again, you should use decimal places only if required. For these two columns, we need to use the currency format because the data is in dollars. So I select the range, press Ctrl 1, menu I choose currency, 0 decimal places and the dollar sign. If you click OK, you can see that the numbers have been formatted as currency. And I can repeat this procedure for the rest of the columns in this table. So that's how you can format a data table to make it look very neat and professional. In the next video, we will continue our discussion on Excel formatting best practices. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.